चलते रहे और हमारे देश की इकोनॉमी को और यदि ताकत मिली तो आगामी कुछ वर्षों में, मैं 2, 4, 5 वर्षों की बात तो नहीं कर सकता हूं, कि 10 से लेकर 15 वर्षों के अंदर ऐसे भी हालात पैदा हो सकते हैं कि हमारा भारत, जो आज टॉप 10 इकोनॉमीज में माना जाता है, वह शायद कल टॉप 3 इकोनॉमीज में हमारा भारत आकर खड़ा हो जाए। ऐसे हालात यहां पर पैदा हो सकते हैं और इसके लिए जो भी करना पड़ेगा, यह हम लोगों का फर्म कन्विक्शन है, हम करेंगे। भारत को हम एक सशक्त भारत बनाना चाहते हैं, स्वाभिमानी भारत बनाना चाहते हैं, स्वावलंबी भारत बनाना चाहते हैं। और आज आप सब जो यहां पर इकट्ठा हुए हैं, और विशेष रूप से भारत नीति, उदय इंडिया और एसोचैम ने जो यह कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया है, मैं इन तीनों को भी अपनी तरफ से इसके लिए मैं बधाई देना चाहता हूं। और मुझे याद है कि उदय इंडिया, दीपक रथ ने इसके पहले पिछले साल भी एक इसी प्रकार का कार्यक्रम उन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइज किया था, लेकिन इस बार का कार्यक्रम पहले से कुछ ज़्यादा मुझे कंपैरेटिवली बेटर नज़र आ रहा है। और अच्छा, एसोचैम भी था। और मैं समझता हूं कि दिन भर आज ये जो आप लोगों ने आज का सब्जेक्ट तय किया है, डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन, सेल्फ रिलायंस एंड बियॉन्ड, इस पर आप चर्चा करेंगे। और जो कुछ भी आपकी के सजेशंस, आपकी रिकमेंडेशंस होंगी, मैं समझता हूं कि बहुत ही गंभीरतापूर्वक हमारी सरकार उस संबंध में विचार करेगी। और हमारे डिफेंस मिनिस्टर भी, संभवतः मुझे बतलाया गया है कि शाम को 4 बजे यहाँ पर कंक्लूडिंग सेशन के लिए आने वाले हैं। तो आज के अवसर पर मैं समझता हूं कि इससे ज़्यादा कुछ कहने की जरूरत नहीं है। पुनः आप सबका स्वागत करते हुए अपना निवेदन समाप्त करता हूं।
Thank you so much, sir. मैं दरख्वास्त करती हूँ DS राव जी से, सेक्रेटरी जनरल ASSOCHAM, to please come forward and deliver the concluding remarks. Welcome, sir.
परम आदरणीय श्री राजनाथ सिंह जी, ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ होम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया, श्री मुरलीधर राव जी, श्री सुनील कनौरिया जी, श्री संदीप जोजोडिया, अन्य महानुभाव मंच पर और मंच के सामने, मैं आप सब लोगों का आभारी हूं कि आपने हमारे प्रार्थना पत्र को स्वीकार किया। मैं भारत नीति और उदय को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं कि जिन्होंने एसोचैम को ये अवसर दिया। आदरणीय मंत्री जी, मैं आपके ध्यान में एक ही चीज़ 1 मिनट का लाना चाहता हूं कि हमारे एसोचैम ने आपके मेक इन इंडिया के लिए बहुत शुरू के दिन से ही बिल्कुल कंधे से कंधा मिला करके हमने काम शुरू किया। और मुझे जानकारी है कि हमारे प्रेसिडेंट मिस्टर सुनील कनौरिया ने 4 हाई पावर डेलीगेशनों को लेकर के न्यूयॉर्क, पेरिस और लंदन और इजराइल में अपने डेलीगेशन लेके गए और वहाँ पे से इन्वेस्टर्स को आमंत्रित किया। कई सारे इन्वेस्टर्स यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं और मैं उन लोगों को सबको अपनी तरफ से ये आश्वासन देना चाहता हूँ कि जो आपकी जो कठिनाइयाँ हैं या जो भी मुश्किलातें होंगी, हम आपके साथ हैं, हम सरकार के ध्यान में उनको बराबर लाते रहेंगे इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ। क्योंकि आदरणीय मंत्री जी को लोकसभा पहुंचना है, मैं उनका ज़्यादा समय नहीं लूँगा। मैं एक बार पुनः अपनी संस्था और अन्य ऑर्गेनाइजर्स की तरफ से उनके प्रति हार्दिक आभार प्रकट करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. Our chief guest has to leave since he has to join the parliament. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out a valuable time. एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural session will continue, so please take your seats. Dignitaries are requested to stay back on the dais. Audience is requested to please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue with the inaugural session. Our dignitaries will be addressing the audience shortly.
You request Mr. Jajodia. आप request करता ना, I request Mr. Sandeep Jajodia.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends from the industry, we are going to deliberate what we have come to deliberate. So be assured, please keep seated, give them 2 minutes, and then we'll get down to the subject. You know our aim, particularly we have been absolutely championing the cause of our private industry into defense manufacturing, into defense. So please wait, we will have the next speaker here. Please wait calmly. So sorry. Not to worry, no, don't worry.
I now request.
Request कर लो, MGO को request करो. MGO will speak. हाँ, he's there. Let the MGO start speaking. Yeah.
नहीं वो सतीश रेड्डी को.
They'll come.
ठीक है. You announce.
Let the MGO start speaking. They will come. Please, people are waiting.
I would request Lieutenant General R.R. Nimborkar, AVSM, SFVSM, Master General Ordnance Indian Army, to please come forward and address the audience.
Gentlemen, we have the Master General of Ordnance of Indian Army. He is responsible for a huge upkeep of the Army. I mean, all those. So we have the right man. Let's hear him. Let's ask him also what he's going to help the industry with. Over to you, sir.
Dear participants, good morning to all of you. I consider it a proud privilege and an honor to be speaking to all of you. I'll not take much time. After my address of about 5 to 7 minutes, I am open to questions from basically the industry members who are participating in today's seminar. Now, before going into these things proper, I just want to touch upon the security scenario prevailing in Indian subcontinent. Today, we are besotted with the problems. We have been surrounded by string of pearls. If you start from the Arabian Sea, we have a Gwadar port. Then I go further, CPEC, which is taking shape, which goes through our POK, and then onto Tibetan Plateau, into China, and then on the Southeast Asian countries. As far as ocean is concerned, we have got a vast ocean, and one of our adversaries says that the Indian Ocean is no more India's ocean. Why it is said? Because Indian Ocean is very, very important. You all know that 67% of the trade passes through Malacca Strait, and that is huge trade. And the China is one of the major nation which is affected if something happens in the Indian Ocean. So be that as it may, so therefore it impinges on us to have a strong Navy and to support the strong Indian Air Force. And of course, as I say, string of pearls or adversaries which are there on the western side, a strong Indian Army. Now, having said that, why I'm giving this a brief introduction is that we require tremendous amounts of arms and ammunition and equipment to equip our Indian Armed Forces. Unfortunately, we have to, so far, depend on the foreign nations to equip us, so much so that today we are the largest importer of all the defense equipments in the entire world. It's a very dubious distinction, and we are not very proud of this fact. However, so far, when there is a bipolar world, we are depending on the Soviet bloc for our requirement. And there was a rupee-ruble trade. So therefore, we did not find much of a problem. And when we now move to the multipolar world, entire thing is based on the economy. And there are a number of players in the world who are supplying to us. But whole equipment, weapons, everything comes at a cost. And there are huge costs involved in this. The prior to independence, we had Ordnance Factory Board. Basically, the Britishers got it here. So they wanted to maintain their war efforts in the Burma side, also in the Middle East, because there was no technological know-how at that time in India. Only the major players, probably that time, were the steel makers, those days with Tatas. And after that, we had no technological base in the country as such. However, the things have changed now. In spite of having ordnance factories, about nearly 41 in number, we have got various DPSUs and we are depending on them so far. However, as the Honorable Home Minister said, that when we can send a mission to Mars, why can't we do so many things in India which are not so expensive and they are not technology effective? We have, at the moment, good technologies. In spite of that, 70% of our wherewithal comes from outside. I had gone around India after taking over my appointment. I was amazed to see that number of Indian companies are world class. In fact, I was astonished to know of a fact there are a number of spare parts, etc., which are made in India, supplied to very complicated machinery in the world. You must have known about the attack on Abbottabad, where the Bin Laden was killed. The helicopter which were used were of a very, very high complexity design. And the major parts of those helicopters, which are supposed to be the best in the world today, went from Hyderabad. And this is not a mere fiction, it's a fact. So that means the technology is available. Our industrial players are capable of doing what we want. Then why are we lacking? So possibly there are certain flaws in the system which we had earlier and we did not have any confidence in our industry. So hopefully these have to be sorted out for the betterment. And why this fact I'm mentioning here, if you see in the earlier days, if you take your mind back to the history, the first invasion in our knowledge of India came from our land frontier of Punjab. Alexander the Great started his campaign from Middle East and he defeated the Persian king Darius II, and then after that became the king of the world, was at Battle of Arbela. And there he used the machines, or steel machines, cutting machines on the field, and you will surprise ladies and gentlemen to know that the steel went from India. Unfortunately, the same man came and tried to conquer India but had to go back. So this fact again I wanted to mention because we have the capabilities and we must exploit these capabilities. Now, steps taken by the government, we have liberalized various systems. We do not have restricted policy. There has been tremendous amount of FDI in the defense sector. And the government is trying to create the level playing field for the private players by PPP. Also, the private players also encouraged by the government to get the technology from abroad, absorb that technology, do it for some time, and then completely make it in India. What we are looking at is to have a 70% of the Indian content by value, not by volume, by value, in our indigenized contents. And that is not very difficult. Our market is huge. I just want to say that in a year, the defense forces spends around 50 to 60,000 crore rupees on acquisitions of various arms, weapon, and equipment. With this, ladies and gentlemen, my time is over. I am ready to take any questions if you have so. If not, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for this informative session. Moving ahead, I would request Shri Satish Reddy ji, our scientific advisor to Raksha Mantri, to please come forward and address the audience. एक बार जोरदार ताली के साथ स्वागत करें प्लीज वेलकम सर.
Very good morning. Sri Muralidhar Rao ji, Sri Sunil ji, Sri Rahul Chaudhary, many other dignitaries who are on the dais, off the dais. Once again, very good morning. At the outset, let me congratulate the organizers, the Bharat Niti, Uday India, and ASSOCHAM for organizing this seminar or workshop on the theme of defense production, self-reliance and beyond. I think these two words are very important, the self-reliance and beyond. Normally, many people who have been organizing these days a workshop, they have been talking about only self-reliance in defense technologies or production. But definitely, I think without beyond, I don't think we will be progressing well. The two important aspects, the self-reliance and beyond, when we say, today, what we need as a country, the technologies or products, and how much we are dependent on the imported stuff, need to look into these aspects and try to indigenize them. That's the most important thing as far as the self-reliance is concerned today. So indigenization, meaning you have many of those technologies or products you are getting into the country, and you are dependent on outside, so you need to indigenize them. So what you need to do? Maybe some amount of research also needs to be done, because all the things you may not be getting what you need. That's a separate aspect. So when we say that we need to indigenize here, we need to some amount of or good amount of development, we need to do a good amount of innovation, and then we also need to use the Make in India concept, where a lot of facilities have been given for the FDI. When we say today our industries are the defense organizations which are there in the country, government organizations together, we need to do indigenization. First thing is, unless there is a participation from the industry, I don't think indigenization can be achieved at all. This is what government thought, and then there are many measures have been taken to support the industries, coexisting with the government organizations which are already there, whether the research organizations or the defense PSUs which are there. Probably one of the model which is already existing, which has been a very successful one in this direction, is the today's Akash missile production. When you say Akash missile production, that is probably the today value-wise one of the missiles which has more than 20,000 crores orders on BDL today. Bharat Dynamics Limited is producing Akash missiles. In that, 83% of the items are coming from private industry today. In a sense, the BDL, Bharat Dynamics Limited, has become the lead integrator. So the concept is, need to coexist, the Defense Research Organization, the DPSUs, and the industry. So the DPSUs are concentrating on high-valued items. The technologies or the products or the equipment which require large infrastructure with huge amount of investments, and then also for the large systems, you become the lead integrators, wherein the components, subsystems, and some of the maybe systems are coming from the private industry. This is one. This is one type of a scenario what you perceive that for all the systems you should exist. Similarly, private industry today, to get into the defense industry or defense production, lot more facilities are required for them to test and evaluate. So this is one concept which has been looked into, wherein the defense test facilities have been made open to the private industries, eligible private industries who can go and get their test systems, test and evaluated, which can be given. This is already a decision taken and given. Third, when we say that the industry has to develop or engineer or design a new product, probably some of the infrastructure what required by the industry may not be existing, or the industry may not be able to invest that what is required for these technologies. There has been a measure which has been taken in this direction. A technology development fund has been created, wherein somebody has the know-how or the capability to develop a product or equipment, then you need to fund the technology or the infrastructure what is required for it. MOD has created a technology development fund for these industries. Next, if somebody has an innovative idea which is essential even for indigenization primarily, the innovative idea what the individual or the industry has to convert into a product by developing the necessary background or required technologies for that, again there needs to be an amount of investment what is required. Particularly if it is an individual who has come out of the college, again there is an issue for him for the investment. This again is seriously thought out by MOD. A Defense Innovative Research Initiative is getting promulgated, wherein the innovative ideas can be funded to get them converted into products or technologies. Also, when the industries come out with products and when you need to compete with the products which are coming from abroad, or you need to compete with many industries which are there abroad on an L1 basis, in critical areas it is extremely difficult for the quantities being produced here in this industry to compete with the world market. So some of the areas, some decisions have been taken, wherein the indigenous products or the indigenous systems will be supported. Example, in the material sector, which is a very important one for the MOD, the Indian industry which has produced the material indigenously here in the country, and if he is competing with a industry from outside, a product from outside, or a material from outside, the price incentive will be given to the indigenous industry. It will not be taken on L1 basis. This Honorable Raksha Mantri has taken a decision, it has been approved, and so the indigenous industry will be supported in the, particularly today I am talking about material sector. There are many other sectors which have been thought about. So there have been many measures which have been taken to support the industry for indigenously coming out with many technologies, products, and trying to compete. And also we are talking about many other facilities wherein if DRDO is working with some industry, the hand-holding mechanisms continuously supporting the industry is one thing what we are working out. Similarly, industries can have a self-certification. If you have a proper QA/QC department, need not be dependent completely on the government agencies, government agencies can be giving a quality assurance policy, directives or auditing, whereas the quality control can be the in-house mechanisms, which can be done by the industry to reduce the time delays and things like that. These are all the various measures which have been thought about, which are being implemented today. In fact, coming to the other side, the DPP 2016 has given the topmost priority to IDDM. If you have an Indian designed, developed, manufactured item, that is the topmost priority which is given before going to any other mechanisms or methodologies. This is one important thing when we say about Make in India. We need to look into the implementation of the Make in India very carefully. I always say that if the priorities in the Make in India are not followed properly, we may be killing our own industries which have already been established. The priorities are like this. First thing is the IDDM. If somebody has designed, developed and manufactured here, you should be given